Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hello there. This is She That Exists with She That Exists, her story channel. And right now, we're talking about starting your own side business, starting your own side hustle, um, connecting to your gifts and talents, living your dreams. I don't do this very often as far as a direct offer. I do pay attention to the world around me, the universe around me. And I was out with some friends. Just got back from Target, hoping everybody's staying warm. And uh, my friend was, "Hey, Colin, what's up?" My friend was sharing how one of his friends was asking him for money, and he had not known his friend very long, and so he wasn't sure if he wanted to give her money. I said, "Well, why don't you give her a free life coaching session with me? I can offer that." Um, and so this is how I know when there's a need in the world and when I need to put out an offer. And so what I decided to do is I'm offering free little mini sessions, like 5 or 10 minute sessions for life coaching, and full sessions I'm offering 50% off. Hey Scott, what's up? Long time no hear from. It's Scott. Hi. Yeah, cold calling. Cold. So this is what I'm doing. I'm putting out an offer because nobody should have to suffer. Nobody should have to struggle. Everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody has been given talents from Creator God. In this world, we have gifts and talents in the public school systems and the government school systems. This is not something that they specialize in to really nurture that part of people, to help them really connect to their gifts and talents, to be able to fine tune themselves. And so I'm offering little free, like $10 or $15 mini sessions to see if somebody's a good fit to work with me as a life coach. But what I'm doing for the next week or two is I'm offering 50% off for clients who want to work with me, and it's their first time to work with me. And where I'm really going to help people is for people to own their life and to own their gifts and talents. And to be confident in the fact and the knowing that we all have gifts and talents that our Creator has given us, and to be able to go deeper into the gifts and talents and the purpose for their life, to be able to create a side business, to become a full-time entrepreneur, to create like a little side hustle, doing what you love, doing what you're called to do, stepping more into your purpose and getting to know yourself on a greater level. um yeah, when the universe calls and God calls or the world calls, I pay attention, and so I know that need is needed right now. So I have the email address in my description box to be able to put that need out there for those who need it. And one of the great things about anybody who decides to work with me, or if you all decide to refer somebody to me, is I have a lot of free educational videos out there already that government school systems and public education systems, they don't know how to tap into or to give people what they need, because those are my God-given gifts and talents that Creator has given me, that I'm really having to step up into my life now. And I'm having to own the fact that I'm a badass, and that I'm awesome, and that I have special gifts and talents to be able to activate other people's superpowers so that they could step deeper into their knowing, so that I can activate their confidence, so I could help people on greater levels, so we can become more self-sustainable, so we can become more independent, so we do not have to depend on something outside of ourselves or any other person, place, or thing, or government or corporation, um, for our life, for our basic needs to be met. And that's why God, Creator, created us all with gifts and talents. And so I am owning myself. I am owning my God given gifts and talents. And I'm putting this offer and this deal out there. And it's really cool to see you guys. Like, I haven't been on here in a while. So Colin and Sky, it's so wonderful, like, to have you guys show up. And it's like 8:30 where I'm at right now in the evening. It's supposed to be like one of like the coldest weekends that we've had so far, but I'm sure in other places it gets like way colder. So go ahead and share this video with your friends because I know the need is out there. Nice, Colin. I'm a badass too. It's like, own it. If you're a badass, own it. And I'm very humble with my gifts and talents, and I don't really, put myself out there in like all these ways, but these are my gifts and talents. Like, I'm really here to help people succeed and really to connect to their gifts and talents and to own their own life and to own themselves and to step out into their calling and calling and their God-given purpose, and to know themselves on a soul level and to really activate their superpowers, because we all have a purpose. We all have a calling. We are all here to live a life with meaning and a deeper purpose. And so this is me just really owning myself. I know it's funny. It's me really owning myself and putting myself out there in this way. And I offer many, many, many different services with my private membership association. This is just one of the many services that I offer. And another service that I'm offering right now is I'm also educating people on the benefits of plasma energy. And I'll do another video on that tomorrow, but I'm going to keep this one short. But let me see what Scott has to say. It's so good to hear from you, Scott. Um, I've always thought that it was interesting the way our Savior told a parable of the servants that were given each a different amount of talent instead of using another term. He associated a monetary term with our word talent. Um, yeah, I always found that really, really interesting too, because I spent a lot of time in church and, I've heard the parable of the talents, but I never have like a pastor or a minister or an evangelist ever like sit down and work with me and say, these are your gifts, these are your talents, you know. Let's sit here and help you multiply your gifts. Let's multiply your talents. Let's teach you how to take your talents and your gifts and to sow them and multiply them instead of wasting them. And so, like, I never had a pastor or minister or a prophet um, ever like sit and work with me on those things. So I struggled a lot in my life to where I should have never had to struggle. And this is a part of the reason why I've left a lot of religion behind, because I found a lot in my time there was a lot of bondage as well. And I never had anybody really invest in me, like as a soul, to say, look, these are your gifts, these are your talents. This is where you're awesome, and this is what the world needs. And this is where there's a void in the world for you to step into that void, because that's what we're here to do. Because the universe and the world is not like a void space. So we are here to take our gifts and our time and our talents and to step into that void, the great unknown, the great wide open, and to step into that and to multiply our gifts and talents. And the way the world works is there's an abundance, there's always enough. Um, our creator like creates us so perfectly that we should never have any lack or not enoughness in our lives. And the school systems, we're not going to get this from the school systems, because they want us to depend on the government or the corporations for, even our basic needs. And where I'm going to own my God-given gifts and talents that creator has given me is that not only am I going to help whoever I work with as a personal life coach and a life is sacred guide and conscious family educator to not only connect with their gifts and talents, but to fine tune their gifts and talents, activate your superpowers, and to help you step into your God creator given purpose in this world, and to be able to succeed and be financially abundant. Because we live in an amazing time right now where we have all different kinds of like platforms online. And so there are many different ways that people can go with working with their gifts and talents. And I still have this memory in my head when I was 16 years old, where I went to the pastor and I was like, I feel like that God is telling me that I need to create a church newsletter. And then immediately I got shut down. And, but that was not God. That was a man who shut that down. And so, like, I lived with that in my subconscious mind, my unconscious mind, like, oh, I wasn't good enough for most of my life, because this happened whenever I was 16 years old. And now I know that I have the gifts of writing. I have the right gifts of self expression. I know that I have the gifts of being an independent journalist. So I can write a newsletter all day long. And that's what I'm setting up with my business system right now is I'm creating an email system to where those who are part of my private membership are going to get a weekly newsletter or a monthly newsletter and different updates to let everybody know what's going on. And so I just really, really, really felt a strong impetus to come on and share this. But let me go into like the live chat, because I noticed that that Colin said, "Good and Scott, my dad tried to teach me my talents, but teenagers." Yeah, that's totally true. I not too long ago, I saw my nephew, and he like just recently graduated from high school, and his girlfriend was with him. And I think I scared his girlfriend, because first thing I said to her is I said, "Hey," I said, "do you know your gifts and talents?" And these are my gifts and talents, is to help other people connect with their gifts and talents that God gave them, and so then you don't have to suffer in the world. You don't have to wonder what you're going to do with your life. You don't have to be lost. You don't have to scrape by financially every month and go, "How am I going to pay my light bill? How am I going to pay this? How am I going to do that?" And she just kind of looked at me with this lost look, like the glazed over lost look. And I'm like, wow, she graduated from high school and she doesn't even know like her gifts and talents. Well, if you don't know your gifts and talents, then you're not going to know your purpose in the world. So yeah, nobody looks at the true meaning of the words, and I believe our Lord has yeah, God definitely has a sense of humor. Um, Creator definitely has a sense of humor. If that's one thing I've learned, is that Creator has a sense of humor, and Creator wants Creator's children to be happy. Like, yeah. So, but if we're just sitting around and we're like stressed out about our future, or we're stressed out about what we're going to do with our lives, and just desperately seeking what are my gifts? Do I have any gifts? Do I have any talents? Because not everybody had perfect parents. Not everybody had parents that nurtured them, that nurtured their gifts, nurtured their talents, that even encouraged them. For me, I learned through contrast. I'm a daughter of a Vietnam veteran. And so my dad brought the war home with him and the PTSD home with him. And so I learned from contrast, like never good enough. Nothing I did, was good enough, or, they were proud of anything. And so because of that, I am like high performance, high achiever, like going to the moon and back and going for the gold. And so, but that's what also makes me a good coach. It makes me a good life coach. It makes me a good guide, because I've seen all aspects of the world, the duality, the light and the dark, the good and the bad, the dark and ugly, like all of it, the whole encompassing everything. Yeah, no one looks at the true meaning of the words. Seriously, like in all my time at church and churches, I never ever like had a pastor ever share what I'm sharing right now. Go figure. I don't know. I'm Magic Man on Snapchat. I'm a technological idiot on here, and my account has been locked. So if you ever want to talk, that's right. You shared that with me before, and a few people have told me about Snapchat. I'm just not on there yet, so bear with me. So, yeah, the apostles. Some of them were slow learners, but that's the great thing about a teacher is we're patient. Um, like if people have questions, people can ask me the same question as a teacher or a life coach 3 or 4 times. And as long as they're serious about wanting to learn and to learn how to learn and to make their life better and know themselves and discover themselves and master themselves, then I have endless patience. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And I felt that it was really, really important to get this offer and this message out there. So guys, thanks for showing up. Thanks for the laughs. And I'm so happy to know that y'all are in the world. So this is She That Exists for She That Exists, Her Story channel. And of course, I'll be back.